When you look at this team, what do you see? The first thing I look at is what would be the lead. And in this case, it seems pretty obvious. Chimchar. Chimchar is a very standard lead. It can taunt, it can get rots, it can fake out, and then it can fire blast or run Mach Punch or whatever it runs. Because that's what Chimchar does. Everyone knows that's what Chimchar does. And that's what's one of the problems of Chimchar. Everyone has seen Chimchar. It runs pretty much one set. And that's the lead Stealth Rock set. And that's pretty much all that it's good for, because that's its gimmick. There aren't any other fire type Pokemon that can get up rots or can lead as well as Chimchar. And that's how Chimchar fits into the Little Cup. And I have a couple of sets. I'll be looking at the lead set first, and then I will be looking at other sets and explain why they aren't used. Alright, let's look at the lead set, which is Stealth Rock, Taunt, Fake Out, Fire Blast. Stealth Rock is because that's Chimchar's gimmick. It gets up Stealth Rock. It's I believe the only fire type Pokemon in Little Cup that can get up Stealth Rock. But if there is another, it's the best. Chimchar is the best at it. Taunt is to prevent other Pokemon that are slower than Chimchar from getting up Stealth Rock or other hazards. Fake Out is to break sturdies and get a little damage off at the beginning. Though it's fairly predictable. This set is predictable in general, so. And then Fire Blast, because Fire Blast is a good stab move, it hits hard, and there's the reason why Fire Blast is preferred over Iron Fist Fire Punch is because it does more damage, and when Focus Sash knocks you down to, when you're holding Focus Sash, you're knocked down to 1%. Blaze Fire Blast does quite a bit. The EVs are odd HP number. Matt's as much investment to special attack and speed as possible. You hit 16 speed in order to speed tie most Pokemon in the tier. And the rest just go into defense and special defense. So this set is the definition of Chimchar. Lead Chimchar is the only Chimchar that should be run if you're running Chimchar, unless you're a god and you can run some other set. But I do have other sets, and they're not as good as this one. They're not as consistent good, but they're interesting. Now we'll be looking at Choice Scarf Chimchar. I gave it Fire Blast because Fire Blast is preferred over Fire Punch. It still does more damage over Fire Punch. So even with Iron Fist. So that's why it has Fire Blast. Gunshot is to hit fairy types for a lot of damage. And it definitely 2-hit KOs Spritzy. I believe it nearly OHKOs, but you need prior damage in order for it to OHKO. Thunder Punch to hit water types. Mostly water types. You can hit flying types, but it's mostly for bulkier water types that can switch in on Chimchar. And it's Iron Fist boosted, which is cool. And then U-Turn, because Chimchar is one of about 4 fire types in Little Cup that get U-Turn, and plus with Choice Scarf, you can use Chimchar for momentum. This set isn't that good because there are better Choice Scarf users in Little Cup. Larvesta has better stabs. It gets stab U-Turn as well. It also gets Wild Charge. But Arvesta loses half its health coming in to Stealth Rock. So I guess Chimchar has that advantage. It only takes 25%. Ooh. But Chimchar isn't... If you're going to have a Starfer on your team, Chimchar is not worth having the slot, because you can have Starfers like Mianfu, or if you want to think Starfers with U-turn, Mianfu is a much better option because it can have high jump kick, drain punch, knock off, poison jab, U-turn. It's a wider move pool, and Chimchar struggles to struggle to find a reason to have Chimchar as your Starfer. I put these net sets together because they're very my explanations for both of them are very similar. So the first move is Sword Stance or Nasty Plot. These are Chimchar's 2 sweeping moves, and this set will focus on Chimchar sweeping. If you're running Sword Stance, you run Fire Punch, Gunshot, and Thunder Punch, and you'll notice this set is very similar to the Starf set, but instead of U-turn, we have Sword Stance. This set, as like the last one, allows Chimchar to hit most things for neutral or super effective coverage for super effective damage. If you're running this set, you run max speed, so you hit 16, and then you put all the rest in attack, and then the set will look very similar to the Starf set. In fact, it's identical. What a surprise. But for the Nasty Plot set, which is a little different, you run Nasty Plot, Fire Blast, Vacuum Wave for priority, even though you don't get stabbed from it because Chimchar is only mono fire. Chimchar is only mono fire. There. So you don't get the stab boost for Vacuum Wave, and Hint Power Grass to hit bulky water types like Chinchou. So both these sets are outclassed. So for the Sword Stance set, Torchic is better because you not only can you Sword Stance, you run Sword Stance, Protect, Flare Blitz I believe it gets, and Baton Pass. Now, Torchic can Baton Pass these boosts to a teammate and speed boost because Torchic has speed boost, which makes that you can do more things with Torchic than you can with Chimchar, and Chimchar also suffers from not being that fast. Reaching 16 speed is okay, but for a sweeper, it's terrible because with things like Mianfu hitting 17 speed, and with the additions of newer Pokemon like Salandit hitting 18 speed, and what was that? Oh, Cutie Fly, I believe hits 18 or 19 speed. That's so fast. Chimchar is terribly slow. Even Pokemon like Gastly hit 18 speed. Chimchar is too slow. And while the Nasty Plot set gives Chimchar priority, that priority sucks because it's not stab boosted. And if you wanted a better fire type Nasty Plotter, you have Houndour. If you wanted a better Nasty Plotter with priority, you have Crowdunk, which gets priority Vacuum Wave. Both these Pokemon I just listed are better than Chimchar. In fact, even the new Pokemon Salandit gets Nasty Plot, and it's way faster. It hits 18 speed, and that outspeeds a lot of Pokemon, including Mianfu. So Chimchar is outclassed in both of these regards, and there's absolutely no reason to use either of these sets. The Nasty Plot set would be max speed, timid, with the rest with as much special attack as you can, and then the rest go in HP, defense, and special defense. So you hit 21 HP, and then you put the rest in defense, and you play with defense and special defense EVs in order to maximize them. And now we move on to the last set. This is the bulky Chimchar set, and I'm just going to get this out of the way. This set is absolute garbage. It is outclassed by Ponyta, Growlithe, and Larvesta. Each of them gets recovery. I believe all of them get Morning Sun and Will-O-Wisp. So they all have recovery and Will-O-Wisp and have better stats. So that covers Chimchar's initially. So already Chimchar's down, but there is a saving grace. None of these Pokemon get Encore. So that's one thing. That doesn't save Chimchar, but if you want to sacrifice good stats for a small something that doesn't even make Chimchar passable, go right ahead. So this set, also I just want to talk about Fire Punch. It doesn't get Flare Blitz, so that's out of the question. So Fire Punch is chosen because it has more PP than Fire Blast, and you don't want to be stuck running just having status moves, because if you get taunted, it's over. And they're faster taunters like Manfu. Manfu's hit 17 speed, taunts you, and if you ran out of Fire Blast, then you're just left struggling. So that would be terrible. You hit 16 speed in order to outspeed slower things, especially Shell Smashers, and just taunt them so they can't Shell Smash. With this, by hitting 23 HP and 12 special defense with Eviolite, you can avoid the Oko from Chinchou's Scald and Will-O-Wisp. And unless if the Chinchou is Life Orb, you're dead. But you can get that Will-O-Wisp off if that's what you want in life. I put 4 in defense because that was left over, and 8 and 52 in attack because that was also left over. And the remaining 16, it doesn't boost anything, so that's that. An Iron Fist ability was to boost Fire Punch its damage. This set is so bad. There are better things than Chimchar to be running this. Now, to sum it all up, Chimchar is not a bad Pokemon. I have shown you many bad sets because those are alternatives to running lead Chimchar, which, while these sets may provide some surprise, they won't get you anywhere. And that's what I want to say. Chimchar does what it does fairly well, and that's all it needs. Lead Chimchar is its niche. When you see a Chimchar on the other side of the field, expect it to be lead. And if it's not lead, then it's definitely a garbage Chimchar. So that's one of the major flaws of Chimchar. Everyone has seen it by now. Everyone knows exactly what it does. Chimchar doesn't have the move pool to run better things. It doesn't have the stats to run better things. It doesn't have options. However, for what it does okay. And overall, Chimchar is a decent Pokemon. So that will conclude this episode of looking at Chimchar. So I'm thinking next week to look at Carvanha. Actually, no. I've analyzed 3 Pokemon that begin with C already. I don't want to make it 4. So let's choose something out of the blue. How about Dwebble? Let's move on with the alphabet. We'll look at Dwebble. And that will be our topic for either next week or the week after. I'm a little busy, but I will work on that. Thank you for listening. If you liked it, leave a like. That'd be cool. And I'll see you later.